Alrighty. So, if it's okay by you, we can switch to a more meta narrative in which I start to explore, talk about the traveling process and some encounters that you might come across. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'll add now that we've kind of resolved this, though, as promised, Piff. Patrick's work in the morning and the first bit of the afternoon before you got traveled, I would say you would have enough time based on your role to repair 40 MDC worth on the behemoth. So it can be on the main body, on the leg, whatever you prefer. But feel free to distribute 40 MDC in repairs.
Okay.
And of course, take 40 off of the supplies that you have.
I have done
Yeah.
that. I'm just looking for.
Sure.
There they are.
Defined and expansive.
Yeah, at some point Al's just gonna like pat the dashboard. You're not hulking. You're just well defined and expansive.
Alright, I've distributed them.
There you
Okie
go.
dokie. You good?
Yep.
All right. So, where to start? Okay. I have so much. I'm just so excited. All right. So let's first. So you travel down, due to Annette's direction. You continue to travel through the Appalachian lowlands, right? Headed east towards the coast. As you travel throughout much of your first day, the foothills start to smooth out into small plateaus, small stable areas, only very lightly wooded. The air, whenever you take a break, starts to have that salty by the end of the first day, the air starts to get that kind of salty sea smell to it, implying that you're close but not quite at the coast. You managed to actually travel quite a distance and made very good headway thanks to the shortcuts and the advice of Annette. The weather on that first day is pretty cool. It's getting to be right in the center of fall. So the warm temperatures of summer have now completely come and gone. As far as encounters go, the only strange bit of behavior you came across was that around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a huge flock of ravens identified by Annette, fly off in the distance from a clutch of trees. And there doesn't seem to be any discernible reason. There doesn't seem to be any shot. There is no, I guess you could say, disturbance as far as a monster or anything else like that goes. And in fact, ravens don't tend to group in such large flocks, Annette would mention. Peculiar occurrence, but not necessarily a bad auspice or anything like that. Now, I do have a scene in mind. Uh, early-ish, maybe say mid-morning of the next day, which I'm prepared to kind of go into. But is there anything in particular you guys would like to do or to role play in the first day, or do we want to just check it off and continue on with the adventure?
I think Al would maybe get on the intercom and tell Patrick about the Ravens and see if he has any interest, because he knows that Patrick likes peculiar.
Flock of ravens.
A flock of disturbed ravens with no discernible disturbtion. Disturbtion? I made a word, everyone. Proud of it. Disruption, I believe, is what I was going for.
So nothing? Oh, sorry. You're still
Uh,
thinking in character.
all right. I guess if that's still during that day, I think my focus will be on the slime goo thing that I found earlier
Oh,
walking through
yeah.
the forest.
Yeah. Um, do you have biology or chemistry?
I have biology.
Let's roll biology.
All right. Let me just go back to here. Roll my beautiful 100. Okay. So I missed that by, let me double, triple, quadruple check this. 11.
All right. It's a viscous fluid that is a resemblance of mucus. The only discernible comparison you might be able to make is that of the slime of your standard snail or slug, except the quantity is vast, and how something that particular from such a small creature could get to cover a mile radius when you first discovered it is perplexing. What's even more perplexing is from your memory, you don't remember like any of the trees or anything disturbed. It looked like they were just covered, right? As if it was rained down upon it.
Mhm.
You cannot think of any earth creature that could create such vast amounts of mucus and cover it in a non-disruptive pattern. You know it's probably not toxic, but you're not sure of any other use for it.
Mhm.
Well, that's not to be safe. You can't think of any conventional use for it.
Mhm. So it is very similar to the, like, it is a basic equivalent to, like, slug.
Yeah,
Intro.
it is a biologically based slime, definitely.
Okay. Um, hmm. All right. My gosh. I'm gonna. All right. Keep going. I'm going to start looking through my skill set to what my next
All
thing action would be.
Sure. I'll just open the table to Patrick or Al if there's anything in particular you guys wanted to do. If not, no big deal.
The only thing I would say is that if Patrick's still working on it when they stop for the night, Al would be rather interested in helping him with that. He
Okay,
does
helping how?
have biology, so he could not very well, but he could try and take a look at it. He also has chemistry. I don't know how much that
Oh,
would help you there.
okay. Either would probably work, although it's up to Patrick whether he shares such information. So later in the evening. So I'll hold up on that.
Yeah, I think that just like Al would just be interested in the mystery too. So
I think Patrick would, even if he was questioned, absolutely. If he saw somebody, he would probably say it to them, interested
Okay, so
or not.
roll me whatever's higher. You can't do both. Whatever's higher,
chemistry.
biology or
I'll
chemistry.
go with chemistry then. All right. He's 65 chemistry.
Okay. What else can I tell you about this goddamn slime? Chemistry speaking, chemistry speaking. Oh, okay. I got it. Took a while for the GM to load that scene. Breaking it down to its chemical compounds. This is an amazing thing. Carbon-based life forms, right? Emit, we're human beings, right? Are carbon-based life forms, elves, DBs. Most things in the universe are carbon-based life forms. Thankfully, your analysis equipment in the behemoth wasn't completely smashed, and you're able to break it down to a microscopic level. And this might not be carbon-based. You don't know if its base is silicone or some other unknown, undiscovered chemical. It resembles carbon. It resembles it very well, but it's not quite that. This is clearly alien. And in fact, you don't know it, but you might have discovered a new chemical. You're not 100% sure. You're not a molecular chemist, right? But it is not something you've ever been taught before. I can tell you that.
He would be very excited. He'd be like running, because obviously he'd have to go do that in the med lab, so he'd be running to Patrick. And he'd be like, Patrick, look at this. It's not carbon. It's similar, but it's not carbon. Like, I'll be like, do you know what this means? Almost everything's carbon-based because carbon is so easy to work with. I can't think of anything else that would be like that. And he just kind of holds it to Patrick. It's not carbon.
And you just see, like, Patrick biting his lower lip, just staring at it in thought, rubbing his chin. And I'm going to continue looking through this particular book.
Al's going to be a...
Oh my god, if you're opening up a science textbook, you're going to break your fucking GM's brain.
Nope.
Throw me a bone here.
It's the main book, and I'm looking through the descriptions of my skills that I have.
Oh, okay.
Al's going to be a little sad
Thank
that his
God.
enthusiasm wasn't shared. But,
yeah.
and he'll
If
be
he
like,
takes it away, he's like, no.
no, he's going to
We'll look at
leave it on the table for Patrick, and he'll be like, yep, so there's that. He's going to pat it for you. And I just remembered we got to go have a talk with James T.
I was wondering when that was going to come up.
So he's going to slowly walk back to the med bay. It shouldn't be a very long one, but he's
Okay.
going to go to James T. and he's going to be like, so, as you noticed, we're on the move.
Yes.
I was thinking about what you said. I don't have the right to lock you up in here. And so we're not going to. Oh no, we lost someone.
Who? Burn?
I think so.
Oh.
It was
I-
Burn.
Well,
We'll see if
I'll,
he comes back.
yeah, so I'm not going to keep you in here. Understand, you are still suspected of murder, and while I am perfectly willing to believe it wasn't you, I would like you to stay with us until we find out one way or the other. You don't have to stay in here, and we will not treat you like you're guilty. I just ask that you understand.
James T. looks at you for a long time, and it looks like he's not going to respond. His eyes, his wild, giant eyes, look you up and down, and his tips of his fingers twitch a little bit. And then finally, though, he speaks. I was also wrong. I shouldn't have destroyed your possessions. And I want to thank you for your understanding. I didn't kill those people. And I'm glad you are treating me like a person. I'll do my best.
Al
And he
will-
does his best to mimic a reassuring smile. He fails, but he tries.
Al will say, James, I've always treated you like a person. Even when I was angry at you, that's a sign that I treat you as a person responsible for their actions. You never have to worry about that.
Okay.
And
He
then
just-
he's gonna... Oh, yeah.
No, he just gives a nod. It's fine.
That's that one.
Okay.
He obviously he's not gonna lock the door anymore or anything like that.
Yeah. There he is. Hey, Burn.
Hi. Sorry about that.
Fine. That's
Continue.
fine. Internets. Okay, so we're good to continue. Oh wait, no. Piff is still looking through the rule book over something. You find what you're looking for?
You can go ahead. I can
All right,
make
because I'm
this
going to
at
move
any
on to the
time.
next day.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So, Let's see here. It's a relatively sunny day as you continue your way towards the coast, but now you're starting to head a little bit more south to Annette's directions. Although around 10 o'clock in the morning, Annette is the first to spot a few flicks of silver as if metal was reflected by the sun in a clutch of trees to the west of you. Using the sensory equipment of the behemoth, in addition to any sort of augmentation whoever might have, you are able to see a single jeep that is very roughly navigating the terrain, in addition to 7 humanoid figures kind of flanking it to the side and to the front. These figures are what's mostly reflecting the light, for they are all made of a burnished dark brown metal. And they're clearly all robotic. Humanoid in design, a mere 6 feet tall, gangly, and hold up a second. Kind of gangly and yeah, gangly. I was trying to come up with another descriptor, but fuck it, I can't. You know there's one individual inside the Jeep, and some of these robots seem to be armed. The behemoth is not clearly hidden. This small clutch of robotic travelers and the Jeep probably knowingly see your vehicle, but take no hostile actions towards it. However, they do turn in your direction and begin to approach. This is clearly a mile off that you're able to spot these figures, so you have plenty of time before they come in within contact. It's up to you whether you do so.
Quick question. They're coming
Sure.
from a direction away from, like, they're not coming from Greencastle, they're coming from another
Nope.
direction.
They're coming from another direction. If
Okay.
you had to estimate, which your intelligence scale could, right? You would have to estimate that they either came like west from the coast or like southwest from you. Like they're coming from a direction not from where you came from. They could have, I guess, they come from that direction, but they would have to circle all the way around. Like, it just wouldn't make any sense, right?
Right.
So, based on their direction and bearing, they were probably coming from the south or the east, maybe the west, but definitely not the north where you came from.
All right. Then Al would suggest that we be nice. There's very little chance that they know that there's anything amiss, and if we try to avoid them in any way, we're gonna make a bigger impression on their mind. Like, what we want, we're in a giant behemoth, but the less they remember about us, the better. And the best way to do that is to make this as routine as possible.
Okay.
Out of character? No, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll move to you guys to this page, although it's not accurate. No, because you're kind of hitting more of the coast. We'll just go to the main page. All right, so on closer approach, you can confirm that these individuals are robotic units. And they look a lot like that. And sure enough, they slow to a stop nearby your behemoth, the trajectory of your behemoth, and a man in body armor, but he has his helmet off, and you can see his face, which I will also put out in a moment. Inferno, once we click the right button. He approaches from the Jeep. The robots kind of circle around the Jeep in a protective manner, but their weapons aren't raised towards you whatsoever. And he gives a bit of a wave and a smile and a small gesture for you to either join them or to land, but it's clearly that he wants to communicate with you. Do you do anything?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless someone objects, I guess Al would stop and he'd probably put on body armor just to be safe, but that's not unusual in this world. And go talk to him. Maybe ask if anyone wanted to come. Maybe ask if Alicia can come at least.
She'd be willing, yeah.
If anyone else wants to come.
Patrick
I'll
will.
go.
All right.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. All right, so you go to meet this individual. So as you land the behemoth and get yourselves ready and step out to meet him, he himself also steps away from his Jeep. Two of the robotic individuals, both of them without rifles in their hand. Now that you're close enough, you can tell that the rifles that these guys are carrying are kind of your standard laser rifle or energy rifle. Some are made by the Northern Gun, some by independent operators, but they are all identifiable firearms for you. Okay? And this man seems to be in his middle ages. He's starting to gray around the ears, and he has a bit of a dimple in his chin. And he's the first to speak. And he says, "Oh, it's good to meet other travelers here on the road. I got myself turned around a little bit, and it was a little embarrassing, but it's nice to speak with some other people who clearly aren't hostile. How rude of me. My name is Roger Morris. Operator extraordinaire, I guess you could say. May I have the pleasure of your names?"
Al would hold out his hand, shake it, and say, Al. Just traveling doctor, not much to say.
Ah, I see. He shakes your hand, and his grip is he actually takes the tact of actually removing the glove of his body armor to actually, give you a handshake. Do you return the favor or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, an elven doctor. That's very interesting. I guess you could say I'm a doctor too of sorts, but for my companions who are less flesh and blood and more metal and circuits, you understand.
Al would not.
At this time, too, since you let James T. free, he has also kind of made his way outside, but he's still hovering around the entranceway, the side entranceway of the behemoth, just watching carefully, right? But his eyes, for those of you who are interested, his eyes are fixed on these robotic individuals. Like, he's not even looking at the man at all. He's just staring at these robots. But he continues his introductions. Would it be fair to say that Tom, Patrick, Alicia, of course, would introduce herself with a nod? You all just greet yourselves and give your names?
Yeah. I will decline a handshake though and show him why.
Fair enough. Oh,
yeah.
He gives a bit of a sympathetic wince in that.
Yeah, I had a bit of an accident.
I can imagine. I know this is. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Really quickly, I'm guessing Alicia will slap me up across the back of my head.
No, she.
No. Okay.
No, she won't. She doesn't want to leave a bad impression for this guy, right? And she already got one slap in. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want you to start enjoying it. She says.
You may be a dunce, but you're her dunce.
Exactly. But, this fellow Roger, would kind of give a bit of a sheepish grin and say, I have two questions for you, and I hope it's not too upsetting or anything like that. But I was wondering first if perhaps it's been a while since I've been able to converse with other people. And although my friends here, and he gestures over to the robots, they are dear to me in my heart, they sometimes don't have the most imaginative conversation, you see. And he gives a warm smile over to them. And it'd be nice to just speak with someone else. I don't suppose we could trouble you for us to break bread, have a conversation, have a meal and a chat, catch up with news, or get to know each other. Would that be all right?
Al would look to the others.
Tom will shrug. Guy seems nice. I don't see why not.
Patrick?
He, he's obviously he's in shy mode at this point. He's
Okay. How about you guys as players? Do you want to agree to this?
I would
Wanna
agree to
stop
it.
it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Excellent. And his second question, he voices, also, as mentioned before, I am an operator. I work with machines and repair them, as I've repaired my own friends over the ravages of battle that they unfortunately had. Repaired some from scratch, almost. And of course, good intentions don't, pay. And I was wondering if you had any services for myself, but perhaps we would not speak of business beforehand, and instead let us eat and get to know each other.
Yeah, I think that would be best.
Okay. If you like, I can describe in general things that Roger would say or things that you would learn about him, right? You yourselves are free to disclose whatever information you'd like. And then we can slip into like role-playing conversation if you guys choose to do so. Okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So what you hear from Roger is that what you learn about Roger is that he spins a bit of a tale about his past, how he was originally brought up in the Coalition, but he left there when he was very young with his father, and they went up north to Ipsheming, where he raised and where he found a fondness for machines and specifically for robots. He found them very, very fascinating, and the very concept itself was intriguing to him. It really sparked his curiosity. He managed to actually save up enough money for him to have his own worker droid. Unfortunately, he had partial ownership over it because he couldn't buy one outright. And his business partner ended up buying him out and took this robot away from him. And it was a bit distressing because he didn't really create a bond with the robot, because it seemed really strange, because you really can't, because their artificial intelligence is not super sophisticated, but it's there. But he kind of missed that companionship in a way, right? So he decided to, of course, wander the earth and, do his best to, make money. But he was fortunate enough to come across one of these models, and he shows the first one, and it seems to be, all of them have this kind of brownish metal, but this one seems to be the eldest of it. The oldest, the most worn, the most patched up, right? And he calls this fellow A7. He came across A7, and A7 was completely smashed, barely operational, and he was able to reactivate it. Much like nursing a man back to health, he was able to repair this robot to its full functionality, and in doing so gave him meaning in his life. And it really fueled a spark. Now, although he has repaired many other robots in the past, it's this particular model that he has grown the most attached to. And he And you can tell by the way he speaks to them, and his own personal philosophy that he shares with you is that instead of individuals who go into robots and tinker with them and change them, he kind of accepts them for who they are, and much like how you would talk to a person and try to change their behavior by speaking to them, he does the same thing with these robots, right? He repairs their exteriors, but he doesn't toy around with the interiors because he feels that that would be almost invasive in a way. And so that's kind of his backstory that he shares with you while you eat, right? So do you have any questions for him, or any things you want to share with him, or any conversations you want to spark with this fellow?
A few come to mind, but they would
Sure.
be like the more business-oriented later, so
Mhm.
give me a second. Does anyone else have any?
Fair enough.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Patrick would, of course, have many questions.
Mhm. Yeah, okay.
Like, how did you first get into to robots? Was this ever like since you were a kid, or?
He gives a smile and he says, yeah, ever since I was a child, soon after we left for Ipswich, the coalition had a very regulatory, from my understanding later when I was older, I learned that the coalition regulated robots quite a bit. And at my time, they were very few and far between, and they were always used for labor, right? And in Shemming, they were much more liberal with the use of such machinery. And some individuals had them as personal assistants. And it was one of my friends who had one of these robotic assistants. And when I saw what it could do and what it was, I was just fascinated. I don't know how other way to explain it, but there was just a spark that lit up in me, and I knew that this was something I wanted to be involved in.
And Patrick would sort of just be staring at and looking at a lot of the different pieces of the robots and things like that. No, from where he's sitting, he's not gonna like go up and touch them and things like that.
Sure.
But
Although, oh, sorry, go ahead.
he's going to mention I wish I had such sophisticated machinery where I was. All I had was toasters and computers.
Oh, he says, well, come on, don't be shy. Here, I'll have you check on with A27. He's the most, I guess you could say, friendliest around strangers. You can inspect him a little bit. I ask you not to open up his casing, much like how you would when you meet a person. Cut them with a scalpel and see how their innards work. But come closer. Don't worry, they won't attack. They understand that we are not necessarily friends, but we are friendly to each other, and they understand that. The robots themselves don't really say anything. They're very, very silent. But Roger does invite you to inspect one of them if you wish.
All right. Does he point to which one's 27?
Yeah, he does. Yep.
Okay.
And at his call, the robot comes up, and it says in a digital synthetic voice, "Roger, I will be happy to comply."
And Patrick will get up and at first very much keep his distance from the robot and kind of just look around and try and not get in too much of the space of the groups of newcomers and things like that.
Gotcha. Also, hi, Kriana.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Do you want me to just quickly summarize, not everything that you missed, but just this current situation so you have some context?
Yeah, I would love that.
But do it
Right.
in song.
Shut
No.
up, Squee.
How about fuck you? Fuck you, Squee. Don't tell me what to do. I'll sing when I want to.
That was
I'm
beautiful. Thank
DTM.
you.
All right,
I am
no
sated.
problem. All right, good. All right. So, you're traveling to the south. Exactly why I'll let you know after the scene, right?
Yeah.
But you're traveling to the south, and you come across this man who introduces himself as Roger Morris. Him and 7 robotic companions, and you have decided to break for lunch to eat and converse with him. He has offered his services as an operator, as in an individual who can repair things with a particular obvious strength towards robotics. And Patrick they're just kind of talking, getting to know each other. And then that's what the roleplay is so far. Sorry, keep going, Patrick.
And just see like the I think you'd be probably most interested in what kind of casing that's going on, the metals used, joints in particular.
Okay. Yeah, although I can't tell you the exact synthetic materials. They are high impact, mega damage. Very, very dense for the amount of space that they take up. Very sophisticated. Extremely sophisticated, surprisingly. As you examine the joints, A27 does turn to the side, allow you to, inspect it. It doesn't resist you. It doesn't do anything hostile against you. It even assists you when you, like, if you were to say, oh, can you raise your arm a little bit? I want to look at this hinge. It would comply after looking towards Roger. Yeah. But you're able to get a good idea of this unit itself. It probably is nuclear powered. Maybe 5 years. A 5-year running time. This one might be a few years old. A27 has a few patch jobs, mostly around the chest. And it looks like an old claw along its leg that has also been welded closed. But other than that, is there anything particular you want to know about that model, or was this really for the sake of roleplay?
That was more for the sake of roleplay.
Okay.
He is curious enough to want to see what's going on, but this is this might not be the time, so he's going to he will say thank you, give us a slight bow to Roger and the robot, and scramble back to his seat.
At this time, too, before we continue with any other questions, Bear, of course, is by Mila. Alicia is just eating quietly, listening. James T is the most passive you have ever seen him. Not necessarily not necessarily like he's a soft little kitten, right? But there's like no giggles, no sneers, and his face is oddly calm as he walks towards one of the robots. And without asking, he reaches a hand out, one of his robotic hand. Well, they're both robotic, but the one that clearly looks robotic. And he presses it against the leg of one of the robots. The robot doesn't do anything but look at James T. And Roger gives a long look at James T as well. But instead of being disturbed or concerned, he says, "That's okay. That's fine." And you hear James T mutter, "Never thought I'd see one of these. Never, never, never. Thought they were all gone. Mothballed."
Al would say, I'm sorry, I forget his name. The one we're talking to.
Roger.
Roger. This is
As in Roger.
This is our friend James T.
Nice to meet you, James. And James T just brings a hand up to kind of wave, as in like, "You're disturbing my thinking, man." Like, But Roger doesn't seem too distressed by that. He gives just a small frown, but an understanding smile, and says, I I have to say, I've never seen an individual quite like that. It's quite such as your friend. Um, is he in any pain?
You should probably ask him. I don't think we've asked him too much about how much pain or what exactly um, his intent for his body to repair or to keep it the same.
Or a better way to put it is we've asked and we're still not quite sure of the answer. You might have better luck.
He goes, okay, I'll try. And Roger says, excuse me, James. And James doesn't look at him. He goes, are you in pain? Are you hurt? And James says, my pain is mostly subsided. But I have a question for you. Where did you find these models? And Roger simply says, I found them up and down this coast mostly, although a few ventured into an area called the Magic Zone, in which I traveled with a small period of time. That's how I found A7. A remarkable model. I've only seen them a few times before fully operational. And James T. looks at him and says, yes, remarkable. Keep talking. And at that point, I'm going to share you guys the details, right?
Mhm.
But Roger and James T have a bit of a chat in regards to, and of course, everyone can listen. Maybe Patrick would be interested in this, right? But the exact features that Roger admires about the model. He talks about how hardy it is, how well designed, how although they look clanky, that they are incredibly humanoid in like in action and in efficiency, right? He says things about how he's never really seen such sophistication before. He would love to meet the creator of it. Just general kind of praise of such machines, in which James T gets very interested in, and you can almost see smiles of pride in his face. James is responding to Roger relatively well, all things considered. Of course, the questions never deviate to James himself or how he feels or what he is. It's mostly focused on these robots, the shared interest of the robots. But a bit of, I don't know. It's a surprise. Well, I can't tell you it's surprising, but, you know, it is what it is.
I think at some point I would say, James, have you had experience with these kind of robots before?
Experience. Yes. Many experiences. Many.
I see. Al doesn't know what else to say, so.
But the conversation soon drifts away from that and back on to, after you eat, because you mentioned there were some business questions, and of course, Roger himself is interested in providing services so he can feed his belly, as he says in a chuckle. Is there anything that we could do, that he could do? Actually, no, he says we, as in him and his robotic companions. Is there anything that we can do to assist you?
Out of curiosity, how are you with cosmetic work?
Well, cosmetic how?
Well,
It depends.
yeah, maybe it's better just to show you, and then Al would say, Jackie!
Oh, yeah, Jackie comes. Yeah.
And I guess Jackie would come up to his shoulder and he'd say, "Our little friend here suffered quite a cut along her back," and he'd kind of hold Jackie out and say, "I honestly am not very familiar enough to know how damaged she may be, and I am a doctor, as you said, of the flesh, not of the synthetic flesh kind."
I see. He says, well, allow me to inspect her, and I can let you know, I can give you an idea of what might need to be done. Would you consent?
Yes, but Al would be kind of there the whole time, at least.
That's fine. He doesn't ask Jackie to shut down, only that, she'd be asked to stay still, all right? And he inspects the large vibroblade slash across her back. He takes about 20 minutes to do a thorough inspection, and he says, well, there is some good news. Her internal workings, it looked like, were not damaged whatsoever. The manufacturer of this particular robotic item, your friend Jackie, I guess I should say, Jackie's a very tough girl, I guess you could, is one way of putting it. All of the damage done seems to be external. Something that I could patch up easily with the tools and the materials that I have. The only tricky thing is this synthetic fur and flesh. I do not have the materials to repair such a thing, nor would I have anything to match the type of hairs that she would have. I would require more resources in order to do so. But I could repair the damage.
Would you be able perhaps to make it look as a scar or something of that nature?
He pauses for a moment and he says, a scar I could make it look like, but it would still look metallic. I have no synthetic materials to mask it otherwise. And that flesh is cut pretty badly. There's not enough to even sew up.
Al would nod and say, well, at the very least you can keep it from getting worse.
In addition, I could at least burnish it or make it so it's less reflective. It will clearly still be a gray metal, but it might not shine.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. So his quote for a repair such as that is 30,000 credits, and he would require about a good hour or so. Anything else that business-wise you would do?
Patrick would note, you probably have seen the external damage to our behemoth.
Yes, it looks like you got in quite a hairy fight a little while ago.
Mm-hmm. I would love to actually see you or even these, what I say, companions of yours?
Yes, or friends, or yes, companions. Yeah, talk to them as if I personally prefer if you don't refer to it as it or them or a possession. Companions is just fine.
Right. I would love to see either one of any of you to see how you would work on such a large project. I have the materials. I would just need the work time to be put in.
Well, at this point, Annette would point out that if you wanted to stay to repair for a period of time, perhaps this location would not be best. But I know a more sheltered place where we would attract less attention, where you could do long-term repairs. So, AKA, you'd have to, all of you, both you and Roger's entourage, would just have to travel maybe 2 hours to the west, someplace a little bit more sheltered, someplace that Annette herself could patrol around to make sure the area is secure. and then you guys can spend as much time as you need to. And you could, if you have enough money with what Roger quotes, you could repair the whole thing. And probably, if him and his robots assist you,
Mhm.
you could get it done within 36 hours.
Oh my.
Oh,
The entire
boy.
thing from top to bottom.
That sounds amazing.
You guys be up for that? I would.
Oh, yes.
I would be interested in the quote. I mean, there's limits, of course.
3.3
Yeah,
million.
Roger would say, since you already have the materials, it's really for the cost of labor for myself and my friends. For 36 hours of, although not continual work, on and off from all of us, I think it's fair that you would pay us 20,000 person an individual. Since there are 8 of us, make that an even 160,000?
That sounds more than good to me. What do you guys think?
It does seem fair. I mean, it's not exactly cheap or easy labor.
Excellent. Thank you. And they get to work. Now, so, of course... Oh, yes, sorry, go ahead.
Actually, before that, may I say to I guess minimize the cost, may I lend a hand to this?
Of course, assist as much as you like. I was actually calculating the 36 hours, assuming that you would help.
Oh, okay. So never mind then.
Okay. Groovy. Alrighty. So with that, we're going to... he says, as a giant nerd. Okay, so we have a few things here. We are going to kind of time speed ahead these 36 hours, right?
Okay.
But there's going to be little intermittent scenes along the way, right? I'm going to speak mostly meta-narratively speaking, but there's one thing that Kriana brought up that we might want to roleplay, if it's okay by you, Kriana.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine with me.
Okay. But first things first, let's catch up with Kriana on a few things.
Yeah,
All right?
what's going on?
Okay, so first things first, we do catch up for Kriana. Do you want me to speak, guys, or do you guys want to give her the quick and dirty?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Quick
my
and
dad's,
dirty.
My dad's mowing in the background, so...
Oh, I can't
I
hear
have
it,
to
so
mute
it's all
myself.
good. Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear it when you're talking. You're fine.
Shit. All right.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Oh, where to start? Okay, so got to Flint, obviously. In the morning, Al spoke with Tom, who hurt himself by punching a wall in frustration and playing the guitar too long.
Oh,
Yeah, but that was treated. James T. Felt that he was imprisoned inside the medical bay, so he smashed half of Al's shit.
that sounds like James.
Al talked with James T. A bit of a heated-ish conversation in which James T. accused Al of judging him based on his appearance and how he wasn't guilty, and everyone just assumes he's guilty because that's the way he looks. Whereas Al's like, no, fuck your little pity parade. You got to prove to me that you didn't do it. In which James says, how can I prove to you that I didn't do it? There's a whole conversation there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What to do with James is kind of put on the table. Then Al went to spoke with Lee. Lee claims that he has absolutely no memory of the incident the night before.
Mm-hmm.
He blacked out around noon or so. He mentioned that if he did anything to disturb or upset anyone, he was sorry, but he has no recollection of it. He also proved ignorance when the word Morin came up. He had no idea what people were talking about. He just said, yeah, she's just that girl. And Al also hinted that, like, listen, we got to treat your problem, in which Lee was not interested whatsoever. He said, you've hired me as a teacher. That's what I'm here for. The rest of it's none of your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Elder Council showed up. They obviously offered a bit of a reward. The only thing that the players took was the repair materials for the behemoth, which are now being repaired, clearly. And a bit of a plan has been garnered in the fact that the people of Flint are going to be judging the situation in Greencastle. They're going to have some people keep an eye on things, try to do their best to calm the situation and get information on what's going on in Greencastle. In the meantime, they have provided the assistance of a wilderness scout, a woman named Annette, who is now traveling with the group. They're leading you down south towards the ley lines in the hopes of throwing off any hunters that can track psychics, like Tom, or magic users. And they know a few safe houses there.
Okay.
In the meantime, the group also gave them 350,000 credits in which they could use to buy off certain mercenaries to ensure that they don't do anything stupid, right? They're using the council's expertise in the hopes that that money can be spread around to quell the situation as well. Okay? The question with James T., the suspicion on what to do with James T. came up. The council trusted the group enough to let James T. continue to travel with them. You are in radio communication with Fatima of the Elder Council, Elder Trade Council. And so if in their investigation they think that James T. is guilty or they want to question him further, they're trusting you that you'll return back with him, right? If that's the case. But and then we're here at this point where you met Roger and his kind of robotic entourage. I think this is where we're at.
And we discovered a new element.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to call it Element Pal. Patrick and Al.
I was going to say the fifth element.
No, it was... well, you know that goop that was on all those trees a few sessions back and Patrick scrapes them off of a leaf?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess so. Yeah, he analyzed that and it turned out to not be carbon-based.
Oh.
So, yeah, which is unique, to say the least.
Fancy.
It's very,
Fancy.
very alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
Okay.
Now, let me do some general description of the repairs, if that works. Okay? And then we'll move on to some player and NPC initiated scenes. Groovy?
Groovy, dude.
Groovy, man. All right. So, Roger Morris, interestingly enough, acts more like a foreman or a supervisor of this robotic crew, who gets to work into repairing the behemoth. In fact, under his guidance, it's one of the robots themselves that assist in the repair of Jackie. Of course, he supervises it, gives it guidance, but due to the precision of these robotic units, the job done is impeccable. He's there to answer any sort of technical questions Patrick might have, although he more speaks in general terms. He doesn't like to get bogged down with specifics. And that's kind of that. There's nothing much more to say, right? So now for player-initiated scenes. Kriana has one in mind. Would you like to roleplay it?
I would love
you like
to
it to be?
roleplay.
Would you like it to be that night?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. Let's go nuts.
All right.
Want to kick us off?
Well, I guess it would be when everyone is asleep, kind
Okay.
of. It would be really late at night.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I guess depending on how heavily everyone sleeps,
Mhm.
they would hear a ruckus of marching over to Lee's room.
Okay. Well, we can always. Well, this is up to you, right? Since it's. Well, it's up to me, and it's up to you, and it's up to everyone, right?
Mhm.
But Kriana, do you want to just give everyone the option that they can hear it if they want to, or would
Absolutely.
you prefer? Okay,
No.
so the option's there. Okay,
Mhm.
great.
Yep.
Okay. Heading over to Lee's room. Thump, thump, thump. You
Yeah.
hear the snores of a Lee who has clearly gone to sleep on his back. That or he has sleep apnea. Either way, probably both. But yeah. His door is not locked. Lee is not that careful.
Okay, then Nora will rip the door open,
Uh-huh. That's
March-
enough to cause him to stir.
march over, grab him by the collar of either his
Oh!
shirt.
Oh, what the? Oh, what? What's
What the
going
hell were you thinking? And then she would sock him right in the jaw.
on? Okay, roll to hit.
Okay. So that's oh shit, I don't have my thing open. What's my to strike?
I think it's +8.
Okay, we'll just say it's +8. If it's okay with you, God, I'll open it, but
Sure. Okay.
Hulk angry.
He'll try to parry it, but he's just woken up. So I'm giving him a -2. No. Okay. You hit him right in the jaw. Roll damage, please.
oh geez, what's damage? Like one oh crap, I gotta open up my
Depends on if you're
Yeah, you gotta
pulling
open up
your
your character
punch or
sheet, girl.
not.
Yeah, hang on.
No, I don't think she's pulling.
I don't think
punch.
Nora knows the meaning of that word.
Okay, it's just loading now. PDFs
It's all
take
good.
forever to load. So, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing pretty good. Yeah. Okay.
I'm finding some popcorn.
1d4. Okay.
Okay, 1d4 plus your damage. It should be
Oh.
like a plus, like your damage is on the left or something. I think your damage is like +8 or +9 too.
Damage is +8. Oh, to
Okay.
strike is +7.
Whatever. You hit him anyway.
Okay. So one.
I just need to know how damaged you hit
How?
him.
But
How
how
damaged?
broken?
Ooh.
10 on a jaw. You hear a pop, and then a scream fills the room and the behemoth. If you guys didn't wake up then, there's a very good chance you'll wake up now.
All right, Al's gonna come rushing.
We won't have enough time just yet. We're gonna
Right,
still
right.
be here with Mila and Lee here for a moment. He goes, "Oh fuck! Oh!" And at
What
this point,
the hell were you thinking?
he says, and he is trying to mutter an incantation, but his jaw hurts too much, so he's not able to get it off. He doesn't respond. His response is him trying to cast a spell, in which does.
She's gonna throw him to the floor then,
Uh-huh.
and just look over him and say, "Oh, what's the matter, Lee? Can't talk? You sure were chatty last night."
Oh, fuck you. He simply says. And at this point, we would allow other people to get into the room. The arrival.
Al,
Just seeing that part. You see, for those of you who arrive, you see Lee crumpled on the ground, his hand cradling his chin, with an infuriated Nora standing above him.
Al's going to get into the room, see what's going on. Yep. So far.
All right.
Okay.
If no one's gonna do anything, Nora's gonna go down real close, like next to his ear, and be like, "Oh, are you upset? Oh, maybe you should have watched what you were saying." And then she will go raise her fist again.
Okay. Al's going to say,
Yeah, Tom will help stop her.
Well, here's the question, Nora. With your friends trying to stop you, would you still try to swing regardless?
No. If they grab her, she'll stop. She'll kind of go
Okay.
limp.
Okay, that's all I need to
Al
know.
will actually say, one I think is enough, Nora.
Yeah, Lee says as he gets up from the ground with his chin just still cradling his mouth. Luckily, he's still able to move it, but just very carefully. And you were worried about me. Fuck.
Al will look at Lee and he'll say, "I'll patch you up in a second, but."
Oh, go fuck yourself. I can take
Lee?
care of myself.
Lee. Why
Listen,
fuck?
I have no idea what the fuck I even said to you.
You, oh, so that makes it all better, doesn't it, Lee? It doesn't affect you because you're fucking selfish. Oh, I'll poison my body. Woe is me. I have a dark past. I don't give a shit about you, Lee.
Well, feelings mutual, crazy.
Okay, she's gonna lunge at him again.
Okay.
Okay.
Al's gonna punch Lee.
What? Okay.
He just called his best friend probably the worst name you could ever call her.
Yeah,
Well-
and Tom's going to try.
Okay,
and
roll
throw her
initiative.
away.
Everyone roll initiative. We got to do this.
Okay.
We have to roll initiative.
Boom!
All right.
Woo!
4.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, thank God.
Way to go, Lee. You're the best. You're the best at being Lee. All right.
Oh my
All
God.
right. Everyone put in your just Alicia's not. She's still getting up. Bear's gonna be here though.
Gotta
find
play
this
in
very
character.
Yeah, I'm not angry that you guys are playing in character at all.
Where did Patrick go?
I ate him.
Alright,
Patrick was
There's
eaten by
Patrick. He's under
Tyrath.
the gal.
He's
Or there.
Oh.
Whatever.
he's doing
It's
his
fine.
cult of Tyrath duties at the moment.
Yeah, all right.
Wait, no. I don't know.
I was all for calming the situation down until he called her crazy.
Just do what you do.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Is that right? 9 divided by 4.
Yep.
Is Bear joining in?
He'll roll initiative. We'll see what Bear does. I find it really funny that Al talked him down from doing this, and now he's doing the exact same thing.
Mm.
I find that hilarious, actually.
Doing
All
what?
right.
What?
In the last session, Lee was marching. Bear was leeching the room, and Al's like, "No, don't do it, man. Violence isn't the answer."
No. Killing him isn't the answer. Big difference.
Bear
there.
said he wasn't going to kill him.
Oh no, he looked like he was gonna tear. Actually, no. What are you talking about? Bear said he was gonna tear him apart, and if Mila didn't
Yes.
know, it was fine. Big
All right, that's
difference
fine.
there.
Oh, difference. Okay, I think we're good to organize this.
Pressing button. Boom.
Thank you. All right, top of the order, Tom.
I'm spending my action to try and keep Mila or Nora back. So I guess.
Well, we'll have to resolve that on that turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll resolve that turn. Patrick.
Oh boy, thank God I actually thought of exactly what Patrick would be freaking holding when coming into this thing.
Great.
Once I see more lunging at people and people getting really aggressive,
Yeah.
he's going to he's going to yell out a word.
Uh-huh. Oh. Mhm. You're gonna
And,
blind everyone.
I'm going to blind everybody.
Good.
Shit.
Excellent. So you're the only one who closes your eyes in time. Everyone else, a flash of light strikes your eyes. You're all roll me a 1d4, Patrick.
All right. D4, there we go. 2.
For the next 2 rounds, everyone is -8 to strike, parry, and dodge.
Okay.
Okay.
Tom, what are you doing now that you're blind?
I already kind of had a hold of Nora, and I'm just
No, I was gonna have you to roll to hit her to grab at her, right? But
well from
Well, I'll
before.
tell you
we
what.
had-
Hold up a second. I got you. I guess I handled this incorrectly. I was going to wait till her turn, but really, what you should have done is rolled to strike because you'd be grappling with her, right? Even if it's just
Yeah.
her arm. So do that without a modifier because you did this before you were blind.
Okay.
But Mila has a chance to dodge out of the way if she chooses to.
So
I have a quick
So,
question. Are we still
basic
holding on to
hands.
her, or?
No. Your last action before we went to combat was I'm going to punch Lee.
Right.
yeah, so you're not holding on.
Right, but I was wondering because I thought like the idea was we were holding her back. Al would obviously have stopped, but I didn't know if
Yeah,
Tom would or not.
Right now, emotions are flaring high,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
There's a difference between someone lightly gripping someone's arm and literally trying to restrict them from doing anything.
Makes
Right?
sense,
So
yeah.
that's what this is emulating. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 18. Mila, Burn
Yes.
is like literally trying to restrict your hands from moving. Do you want to prevent that?
Yes, but I would also like to say something, but I was gonna wait till my action to say it, but
Sure. No, you
Doesn't-
can wait till your action then.
okay.
So roll to dodge then.
Okay.
Move your hand out of the way.
Right.
You're not blind at this point. This is pre-flash.
Is pre-blind? Okay. So I get the full +8.
Oh shit! Wait.
I mean, wait.
-2 from that.
Minus
Yeah,
2.
Okay. -2 from my roll. So you're good. You dodge it anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you try to just she wrings her hand from your grip. Tom. Okay, Patrick.
Yep.
Boop. Blinded everyone. Now it's Tom's turn. Now you are. Oh, you see lights in front of you. So many bright lights.
Shit! I'm trying to grasp for Mila, but I'm probably not going to hit.
Yeah. Roll at -8.
Okay.
So if it's regular +5 to hit, then it's just -3.
Can I give myself a bigger negative for my hands being screwed up?
Sure. Add another -2. Good thinking.
Yep. That's why I was giving myself a -2. So up. No.
Yeah, you miss. Okay, you don't even. That's not Mila's arm. I don't think that's anything. Patrick, your turn.
Oh boy. Well, I have sight. So Lee's on the
Yep.
ground. People are generally stumbling in things.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick is going to either take Lee's elbows or feet and try to drag him out.
Like in a combative way, or you're trying to. Okay, I get it. Like you're trying to get him out of there, right?
Yes.
So I need you to roll to strike to like get a hold of Lee, because I'm sure Lee's gonna be fucking kicking and thrashing around, right?
Yeah.
So first you gotta grab a hold of the guy. This is really funny, by the way. Okay,
Yay.
great. Lee is going to try and kick at a -4 because he's blind. No. You find it easily. If anything, when his leg kicks out, you're like, oh, this is going to be a good grip, and you grab it, right? Now, what's your strength again?
Oh my gosh, my physical strength is terrible. Let me
it's
give
not
you the
terrible.
actual number.
Yeah.
9.
Okay, so that's below average. Average is about 10 to 12, right? So it's below average. It's not awful, right?
Mhm.
Lee is not... He's not super heavy, but he doesn't take good care of himself. I'm going to say... Okay, oh my god. I'm going to do this. Due to your strength, you are about... I would say it's fair to say you and Lee are about 10 feet away from the door, right? When Mila threw him on the ground from his bed, he's about 10 feet from the door, right? I would like you to roll a 1d4. That will represent how many feet you pull him towards the door
Okay.
each round, okay?
Mhm.
All right, do it. All right, so 3 more feet, so you're 7 feet from the door.
Oh boy.
Mila, it's your turn. You can say and do things now.
I think after like the blinding hits, Nora's just gonna go limp and either fall to the floor or kind of crumple down, and just loud enough for Lee to hear. You attacked the most innocent person here. I hope you are happy, Lee.
Okay. With that, we can move out of combat if you guys like, unless Al still wants to.
No,
swing.
no. I think Al, the bright lights would surprise him, and he'd have enough time to collect his wits about him.
Okay.
It's more of an emotional response than an intelligent one.
Okay. So with that,
I'm sure
you're
when
vi-
you like guys, you clear like vision, you see just like Lee's feet slowly get dragged from the doorway.
kind of in a way. Oh shit. Okay. How? Let's manage this scene here, Inferno. So Patrick's dragging Lee, in which Lee is blind, surprised, responding to what Nora said. He'll just simply say, "None of you are innocent. None of us ever are." Oh fuck! He says, "What the fuck?"
Nora will just keep on repeating, the one person who was treating you nicely. The one person who accepted you, even with your flaws. And you had to betray that.
Lee, although he's still nursing his jaw, he says, "Listen. Everyone is speaking in fucking code. You came in the other day and started to say all this shit that apparently I said. Now you're hinting at other shit. Tell me what the fuck happened, so at least I can get some idea why you people are beating the shit out of me."
Al will, unless someone else wants to interrupt, he will very detailedly recount what happened.
And Tom will slip the switchblade that he took from Lee out of his coat and hand it back.
You know, that corroborates it. That's his knife.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair to say that things calm down enough that like Lee can stand on his own, that you guys can have just a conversation without shit going bad?
I would be fine
Yeah.
with it.
Okay. All right.
Nora?
She's just gonna have her hand on her forehead, but not really saying anything. But she won't attack. We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Lee will take a moment to collect himself, and he says, "I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say in regards to that. Somehow, something inside me probably thought that was a good idea. Frankly, when we first met, you were strange. I knew there was something wrong with you, but no one ever said it outright. I don't know. Maybe when I was drinking, I figured it was time. Maybe it wasn't my call to make, but I don't understand how this hurts you," he says to Mila, or Nora at this case. "I don't understand how this hurts you at all. Like I've done some horrible thing. What's so awful about it, really?" You are who you are, right? I mean, unless I'm missing something. I understand the way that I did this, especially me using a spell to even hurt you a little bit. That's fucking uncalled for. I feel mortified that I did that when I was drunk. I'm not happy about that. Don't think that. But shit. So you have those fucking implants. Everyone fucking knew it. So I just put it out in the air? Like, is that worth this? He says, and he points over to the bruise along his jaw. Fuck, he almost popped it right out.
You don't understand the way her mind works. Our mind works. I do. And it was my request that no one tell her. And you did it. in the most brutal way possible. She lost it when these two, she points over to Al and to Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, well. Well, now what?
Al would
If
probably
yes, go ahead.
look to Nora and say, Nora, do you have any idea how Mila is? We've not heard a word from her.
Al, there are times when I don't remember what Mila sees or acts or does. All I know is when I remember Lee, I remember her starting to figure things out, cutting off all her hair, and then that's it. It goes black until I just woke up. So I don't know.
Al will nod. Well, the only thing we can do now is help Mila best we can.
Yeah, well, you can do it without me, Lee says. I think I've had enough of this little adventure. Why don't you pay me out?
Al would look up at Patrick and say, Patrick, can you take care of it?
Patrick will slowly open his mouth and kind of hand gesture back and forth to basically himself and Lee and the rest of the people, and he will eventually ask Lee to come with him.
Yeah, Lee will. So now we'll do two separate scenes, maybe, between Lee and Patrick, and then the rest of the group amongst themselves. Does that work for you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so let's do the rest of the group without Lee and Patrick at this point.
Okay.
Unless you guys must have something to say.
Yeah, I guess I would say, Nora, I'm sorry. If I had realized what he was doing sooner, I might have been able to stop him sooner.
I know.
And I'm sorry too, Nora.
I know.
We will, of course, do whatever we can to help Mila while you're not here. But no one knows her better than you. Can you think of anything we should do or should say that might help?
Hell, I'm just tired.
Come on, let's get you back to your room.
Okay.
And Al will hold down a hand.
She'll take hold of it.
And he will guide her back to her room.
Okay, so we'll wrap that one up and just have Patrick and Lee. If you don't start the conversation, Patrick, Lee will, but I'll give you right of way first.
All right. Patrick will gesture him to sit down at the dining room table,
Yeah, he'll sit down with a bit of a sigh.
and he will turn to work to the other side, stand there for a bit, sort of staring off into the distance, but towards the floor.
Mhm.
And he will slowly walk over to the other side to the chair in front of Lee.
Okay. As you do that, Lee will say, "There's a reason I like you the most. Do you know why?"
Because I gave you booze that one time.
Fuck, no. Although I guess you could say that was symbolic in a way. No, it wasn't just because of the booze. It's because you're the only one out of your group of friends, traveling companions, whatever you call them, who treated me decently in a consistent way. Right? Ever since the beginning, right? She never really treated me much respect. She has, I don't know, 2 people, 3 people, 500 people. I don't know what's desiring her, right? But she's hot and cold, right? Your friend Tom, he never really liked me to begin with anyway. He warmed to me a little bit, right? But, I mean, the first impressions mean everything, right? And your friend Al, forget about that. I have dealt with preachy types like that before. Judging with your words, right? But not you. You didn't try to change me. Didn't try to do anything with me. You just treated me as me, and you were decent about it. That's all it was, man. And I'll tell you right now, if you and I took off, I'd make you I would tutor you personally. But I can't be in the same place as her. You know that, right? This is the second time she attacked me. The second. How many more times, right? Maybe one day she doesn't come in to, punch me in the jaw. Maybe she comes in to slit my throat. I thought it was safe here. I thought this was a good gig. But clearly it's not.
To be honest, Lee, you and me both.
Yeah. Well, what do you say? How we hit the road together?
Can you give me some time to think?
Yeah, of course. That's fine. I think all the fucking fireworks is done with anyway. I'll just collect myself over here.
Is there any other
Okay.
scenes you guys want to do?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Dun 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 dun.
Chun chun.
All right. What do you guys want to do? Speak out of character, in character, whatever you like. How are we going to suss out this situation? Let's speak out of character here for a moment. I think that's important.
Right.
What are we going to do with the Lee situation? Or what are you guys going to do with the Lee situation?
Thought we were gonna buy him out.
Sure. I just want to make sure. I want to hear Patrick say that. I want to hear Piff say that.
Sorry, I blinked out for a second. I'm deep in thought. What's going on?
We're just trying to figure out what to do with the Lee situation.
Ah,
Are you gonna buy him out? I know I threw in that temptation there, right? But
yep.
that was just Lee being Lee.
Yep. Buy him out. So I'm actually not familiar with that term, even real life. Does
Pay
that
him,
mean,
pay him what you owe him, like for the weeks that he's worked for you, and then he's gonna hit the tray, hit the road, right? I believe the agreement was 3,500 credits a week. It's probably been about 3-ish weeks since you hired him on, maybe a little bit more than that. So we'll make it an even 15,000, he'd say, and then he's fine. 15,000 credits, and he'll take off. But he also offered you to come with him. You can say yes, you can say no. You probably should say no. And we'll break up the entire
Probably.
gang. Actually, that's really unfair of me as a GM, but I had to put it in there because that's what he would be thinking, right?
Mhm.
So it's up to you.
Yep.
But okay. Everyone's good with this idea?
Yeah, I mean, Al's gonna be sad he's losing an instructor, but he's proven himself very unreliable. Al has no idea what's gonna happen the next time he decides to go on a binge, and he shows no remorse whatsoever. I mean, he shows kind of remorse, but no willingness to keep himself from going on another binge.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we knew that this would very likely be a possibility that he would screw up somehow with his drinking, but now that this has happened with Mila, I don't mind him leaving.
Yeah. I like Lee as a player, and I think Al kind of likes Lee as a character, but not after that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's all good. Okay, so I guess Patrick should be the one to do the whole buyout thing, right? And maybe we should role play it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Okay, oh, just a second. Everyone just take a 2-minute break. I have to do a DM duty, and I don't mean I have to poop.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
So, anyway, the other day, I was in Connecticut, you know, like you do.
Uh-huh.
Give me a second, I'm trying to think of a story.
Oh.
And then I found... I got nothing.
I was gonna ask how Kriana's day was.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be
don't ask me. No, don't ask me about my day.
Oh.
We don't want to.
Okay.
We want to. Yeah. Talk about puppies. Let's talk about.
Can I send you something then?
Can you send me puppies from Hawaii?
No.
He can send
I can send you
chickens.
that though.
Oh, Burn. Thank you.
He can send
I
you
love that.
chickens.
I'm gonna
Chickens
save that.
from Hawaii.
No, I sent that. Can I link it in chat, Squee?
Sure. I don't mind.
Okay.
Wow, what a slow loading hug.
I know, right?
Do get better internet, scrub.
So yeah, some shit's been happening. A lot of shit's been happening.
Actually, you could say a lot of stuff is resolving.
Yeah, we have been arcing pretty hard.
So many arcs.
Yep.
Yeah. Just give me one more moment here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. Take your time.
Yeah, no, Skip, yeah. I mean, like, and I would think this too. Yeah, Lee's not evil. He just can't be trusted.
How?
Yeah.
I'm not.
What?
No, they're talking about Tom.
No. They said Tom defended Lee. He isn't evil now. He's just bipolar on a whole new level. They're talking about... Oh,
No, they're
right.
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
Tom
yeah,
because
yeah,
they were
yeah.
saying that Tom is getting evil and
Well,
going to
right.
the dark side.
It's a little unfair, but Tom has definitely gotten a lot more prone to violent acts lately. There's
Yeah.
obviously very good reasons for it, but yeah.
Which I did state.
And I'll talk to him about it. So
Yeah.
who knows?
So now I get to mark Lee's room as free.
Oh God, not yet. Gotta wait till it's over, man. That's not cool. Don't hang the vacancy sign while he's still in the hallway.
Well, I just opened up Photoshop. It's fine.
Gosh,
I can change it.
I've been seeing a lot of comments about bad buffering problems. I'm wondering, guys, maybe because you know, on TGN, you have the ability to change the quality of the stream. You don't on mine. And
Yeah.
I stream at 3,500 bits. Maybe I need to turn the stream quality
You need to
down.
turn
Yeah, you
that
do.
down.
100%.
Yeah,
That's why
100%.
everyone's buffering because
Yeah.
no one can change the source hit, right? Some people's
Yeah.
internet can't handle that much.
Hang
Yeah.
on, guys.
That's
I'm going to
huge.
stop and start the stream again because I didn't even think about that. Hang on one second.
Okay.